All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Ebonie again, a.k.a. Fit Mom Diva of Simplicity Health Style. And today we have Miss Brianna with us. How are you, Brianna?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm awesome. Brianna is going to share some jewels with us today. And for those of you that stick around to the end, you're going to have an opportunity to earn a complimentary gift for sticking around. She has a wealth of experience as a mother and as a wife and as someone that wants to impact lives on social media, particularly. So stick around and let's listen to what Brianna wants to share with us today. Brianna, just start us off so that we get to know you a little bit better and share a motivational quote that you really get encouraged by, really gets you going and motivated.
So I love quotes. It's like my obsession. But right now, lately, it's a Tony Robbins quote, and he says, you don't get what you want, you get what you have to have. So that's been my just motivation and quote. And like, we want a lot of things, but when you have to have it, it's a different, like, you respond differently. Like, we have to have a paycheck, so we go to work. You know what I mean? A lot of people go to work every day, even though they don't like it. But a lot of times, like, when we make healthy food decisions, we don't have to do it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
We want a great body and we want to be healthy, but we don't have to. So when you feel like I have to do this, then I notice like I am a little bit more, I push through not being motivated, because you're not always going to be motivated,
right?
If that makes sense. So that's my quote.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. There are certain things that we want that might not be good for us too. And I think that it just takes, looking at the full picture and your priorities to figure out what is it that you want and what is it that you have. Tell us about a time that you didn't necessarily see the light at the end of the tunnel and you had to overcome some obstacles that you didn't even perceive occurring. But at the end of the day, you were able to break through and get to your end goal.
So I feel as though I'm in that right now, in the sense of sometimes I see the light at the end of the tunnel, sometimes I don't. But I am a labor and delivery nurse, and recently I turned 30. Well, not recently anymore. I have a birthday coming the beginning of next year. So I was just like, I'm not living my dream. I'm not living what I want to be doing. I'm doing kind of what I've always been told. I think a lot of us grew up and we were told this is what you do. And we did it without asking questions. It was just like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. It wasn't like I really was able to ask myself, like, what do you want to do? Or when I was said what I wanted to do, I was shut down. And sometimes that was by my parents or people I loved. And I don't think they meant malicious to shut me down, but in their mind, I think there was a time where people used to be like, you're going to be a maid just like your mom was a maid. Like, that's all they thought was possible. So even though my parents and people around me, what they think is possible is bigger than that, it still wasn't as big as I wanted to be. So I turned 30 and I'm just kind of in this place of like searching what I want to do. And it's a little overwhelming because there's all these things I'm thinking about. And I get a little stressed because I'm the type of person who's like, I'm just trying to eat the elephant all at once instead of one bite at a time. Like one step, like just put one foot in front of the other, Brianna, and just start walking, where I'm like, I want to get up and start running. And right now I just need to take it one step at a time because I do get super overwhelmed. So my journey right now is finding who I want to be and my purpose in life, because I believe everybody's born with gifts. And I think nursing is great, but I realized I'm really good at it. I like it, but I didn't love it.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that feeling of just doing something because it's safe. Does that make sense? Kind of?
Yeah. And I think for a lot of the ladies that I talk to, they are in positions right now where they're getting paid a decent salary. They know how to do their job well. They get along with their coworkers okay. It's not the best relationship all the time, but it's okay. And they know that that job is not necessarily going anywhere, so they stick with it. but it's
Right.
not always the most fulfilling for them. So there are a lot of ladies that actually fall into that category where they're now looking deeper at who they are and looking at the gifts that they possess and how can they utilize those gifts and their experience and knowledge into something that's going to be more fulfilling for them. So yeah, that totally makes sense. What would you
Yeah.
say to people that they don't necessarily understand what their gifts are? So they know that there's something more for them, but they don't really understand what their gifts are.
Well, I think in social media, like we know in that society we live in, I feel like, and I'm just before that, people aren't really patient. I'm so guilty of it. But we don't have to have all the answers. And that's what I tell myself now because I'm still in the thick of it, like I said. But being okay, knowing I'm going to find my passion and know I'm going to find it, just continuing to do my best. I feel like, I can't remember the guy, this YouTube guy that I listened to, and he's like, I don't mean to offend people, but Martin didn't have a dream. That dream had him. And Billy Alsbrook always says, like, stop like asking God to bless what you're doing and ask him to like show you what he's blessed you to do. You know what I'm saying? And so I think right now I'm just kind of like, I know I'm going to find it and I'm going to find that path, but being okay not having all the answers. And it's okay. And I have, sometimes I'll have a problem in my life and I just need to fix it now. And sometimes I feel like you just need to step back and just like whatever your beliefs are, God, the universe, whatever it is, just let it just kind of work itself out. Just keep doing you and putting one foot in front of the other and be okay that I don't have all the answers. I don't know exactly what I want to do, but guess what? I'm going to keep pushing because I know that I'll find what I'm blessed to do. So I would just say, sometimes people are like, I never, like just you meet one person or you talk to one person and all of a sudden you're like, I never imagined I'd be here. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we're searching so hard when the answer's right under our nose, when we should just really step back and just, like, I'm really trying to work on my gratitude and being thankful and, on this self-search of internal health in the sense of like eating healthier, meditating, reading motivational quotes, because I have noticed throughout this journey that certain people are coming in my life and lining up with me spiritually and like mentally. And I believe this is just all a part of the journey to get me to where I'm trying to go.
Yeah, and I totally agree with the people that need to be in your life at certain times are going to appear, especially when you have that open heart of saying, well, I don't really know all the answers, but I'm open to seeing where this leads. And it would kind of be a boring life if we actually did know all the answers. When you really stop and think about it, I mean, that's kind of boring.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of treasure and not knowing all the answers and just putting one step forward at a time, like you said.
Yeah.
What about people that they do know what their gifts and they do know, quote unquote, all the answers, or they feel like they know all the answers at this point in time, and they don't necessarily have a very strong support system to help them achieve that goal? Can you offer some words of encouragement or some resources that maybe you've utilized before or that you will utilize that can help you find the people that are going to help support your dream?
So I think when I find that passion or whatever I'm meant to do, it's to give my whole self to it, give everything I have and devote myself to it. Because I feel like that's the only way to be successful. Some of the most successful people we know, they gave their whole heart to a cause. And that dream and that vision and what you give your heart to may change or evolve and become something bigger than you thought. But I think the thing is to give your whole heart to it. And sometimes keeping those dreams and that goal and that passion a secret, because it's when people you love and respect don't believe in it, it does hurt. And so keep it a secret, or realize that the only person that matters, an opinion that matters, is yours. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
follow your heart. Like, so for me, it's better for me probably to keep it a secret. I'm a very big people pleaser. I'm still growing out of that and to realize like we all have one life to live. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I just got to live it. So I would need to keep it secret. Somebody who maybe is a little bit stronger in that, just give your everything to it. Become like obsessed to it. Act like, it's going to be gone tomorrow if you don't give it all. And I think that's the only way to succeed, because that's just gonna, I don't know. I just believe that's all you can do is just give everything to one cause that you like have a passion for.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. Something that you have a passion for, most times it's not going to go anywhere, and it's not going to be one of those things that someone has to really push you and encourage you to do because it's something that you love.
Yeah.
You know, it's different when someone tells you that maybe an idea might be lucrative and you're like, oh, okay, well, I should do that too because I see that it's working for you and this person and that person, but you really don't have a love for it. It's just something
Right.
that you're going through the motions doing. So I think
Right.
when you find that passionate, you are more likely to stay committed to it because it's within you. Start going
Right.
it.
Exactly.
You might put it on hold for a little while depending on what's going on in your life, but as a whole, it's with you.
Right.
I think that also something that people can do is utilize their community and utilize social media and look for groups of people that have a similar interest because it's not always that your family and friends are going to know how to support you, even if they do support you.
Right.
They
Yeah.
might not have a clue how to help you write that book or how to do whatever it is that you're aspiring to do. So seeking like-minded people with similar hobbies and passions online or offline in your local community, that can help too. And it helps give you the confidence to push forward because you see that there are other people in your similar shoes that's actually doing it. They're making it happen.
Right.
Talk a
So
little.
speaking of that, have you ever heard of, there's a thing called 1 million cups that I just found that's like nationwide, and it's like for people who are trying to be entrepreneurs, and exactly what you're saying, like-minded people that you can like kind of talk to and network with.
What
So
is
I
it
just
called?
kind of ran across that.
1 million cups?
Cups. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. That's
And
a
it's even an app, so you can see where they're located in your city or near you and
okay.
when they meet.
1 million cups. So it would be 1millioncups.com online.
Or I downloaded the app, so I just put in 1 million
Okay.
cups. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've actually never heard of that. And I think that that's a wonderful resource, particularly for entrepreneurs, because sometimes in the entrepreneur space, it's a whole other world than
Yeah.
going to a simple 9-to-5 job or whatever your hours happen to be. It's a little different from that because of the amount of intensity and commitment behind the scenes that is kind of like you don't push and make it happen, it's not going to happen.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
You show up at work, and if you don't feel like working that day, you still gonna get paid.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it's kind of like, at least in the beginning stages, if you're not working, then you're not producing much result from that.
Right.
So I'm gonna look into that. Anyone listening, I would encourage you to look into that as well, or forward it to someone that you know that can benefit from it. Talk to us a little bit about the correlation between taking care of yourself, your health, whether that's from a physical standpoint, spiritual standpoint, emotional, mental, but taking care of your health and self-care and having the energy and vitality to carry out your dreams.
Okay, so ask me that one more time so I make sure I understand. I'm sorry.
Yes, talk about the correlation between your health, self-care, and having the vitality and energy to carry out your dream, and not just health from a physical standpoint, but from a spiritual, mental, emotional, mental standpoint.
Okay, so I'll start with just health as far as fitness. I've noticed I have 2 kids, 2 little boys. They're 2 years apart, so it's just nonstop. And I've noticed when my diet is not good, my energy is so low. So it's hard to keep up with them and then turn around and try to find the energy to just do daily things. So trying to go for your goals is even extra. You know what I'm saying? Like most people who go to their 9 to 5 and come home, like if you're not eating a healthy diet, nobody wants to work out. Nobody even wants to cook. That's when Chick-fil-A is drive-through looks more and more appeasing. So I do realize how important my diet is, and reminding myself that after I work out, I always feel more energized.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, I'm not like, oh, I worked out, I want to go take a nap. Right. So that, for me, as far as fitness goes, is just remembering that's the only way I can keep up with the little boys I have. As far as mentally and spiritually, which I feel like is the key to it all. Billy Alsbrooks used to say, don't worry about the action. Figure out who you want to be and adapt that mindset because the actions will follow. And that's so true. Is like
Yeah.
my mind, like the body will go wherever the mind goes. So I guess for me, to how do I stay mentally, it's a daily, especially when I'm going through the thick of it. Like there's times where I feel myself like feeling down and feeling discouraged. Like, am I ever going to do this? For me, meditation is key. Like meditating, quieting my mind, trying to do that every day has been super helpful. And I notice when I'm not, doing that, meditating. I also have a gratitude list that I try to write in daily and just to come out with 10 things I'm thankful for. And sometimes it's like you're so upset or down that it's just things, you start reaching for things, but then you realize like how beneficial that is. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
how we'll take our health for granted. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking for maybe materialistic things or like financial, or I'm not where I want to be, but basically the fact that you can get up and walk or feed yourself, you're not in the hospital, you're like, it turns my mood around completely, because I'm like, whoa, I completely missed the little things that count.
Right.
And I also try to stay reading spiritual books, because we'll go to the doctor when we're sick, you know what I mean? But we forget about our mental health. And I feel like that is just the key to it all. So mine is, I would say, it's meditation, finding things to be grateful for are probably my two key things.
Yeah, and I think that when we find things to be grateful for, it makes those things that we just got finished complaining about not feel such as large. Because
Yeah.
I think that particularly in Western society, I think not to minimize anybody's complaint, but I think that if we got out and actually saw how some of the rest of the world lived, we wouldn't complain as much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it really takes you stepping outside and really seeing how other people live for you to realize, like, what are you really complaining about? Like,
right,
really
exactly.
stop and think about what you're complaining about when the majority of the rest of the world lives like this.
Right, exactly.
So I think that expressing gratitude is key, and to remember to do that, not even just once a day in a journal, multiple times a day.
Yeah. I also think that it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but it's easy to, like you said, get lost in like these little things that just seem so big to us. And when you do go to third world countries and the simple things that they're so thankful for, you know what I mean? It just, to me, it really brings me back down, to earth. Like, goodness gracious. Like, you know what I mean? How can you complain about this? And I read in a book once that a lot of these experiences we're going through are things that we need to go through to get us to where we're trying to go. So to sit back and learn a lesson, don't be, because you don't want to keep repeating the same thing over again. You know what I mean? Like if we sat back instead of being like, oh, I can't wait till this is fixed and then I won't feel this way, because whether it's like, I can't wait until I'm a millionaire and I won't have to go through this, it's a whole set of another problem that you'll have to go through that you didn't even think about. Yeah. So it's like, you just wasted all this time, wasting time where you could be thankful for where you are now, because as you go up, you get, more problems, just different problems,
Right. Yeah, I don't think that problems are ever going to go anywhere. And as we said earlier, if we didn't have any problems at all, I think that would really be a boring existence. Like we may think that no, take away all the problems. But at the end of the day, if we really got that wish granted, where all of our problems could be taken away, after some time, I think that we would just kind of be bored with life. So, yeah, I think that taking time and appreciating where you are in the moment is key, because when you get to where you're going, it's just going to be a different set of challenges.
Yeah.
We're meant to grow on this earth. So to assume that there's not going to be a different set of challenges is just naive.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate you taking time and sharing those jewels with us today. And I think that for a lot of us, we can appreciate that you shared where you are currently and that you're still seeking and still looking for the answers within to discover what your passion is, because I believe that a lot of people listening, they actually fall into that category. And for anyone that is listening and you're struggling with figuring out what it is that you're good at, what your gifts are, what you're passionate about, and what's going to bring you fulfillment, if you join my Nutrition for Busy Women Facebook group, or if you just reach out to me and you want to take an assessment to help you understand what those gifts are, understand your personality better, reach out to me and I'll provide that to you at free of charge, so that there's no reason why you will continue on with the rest of your days saying, I don't know what in the world I'm supposed to be doing. Is there anything else that you want to share with us, Brianna, before we close? With women all around the world, we all are in different geographical locations, but I believe that we all have very similar desires in life. So is there anything that you can speak to the population at large?
I think I'm just going to share what my biggest struggle is self-love. And if I would tell any woman anything, it would just be to love yourself and to realize happiness is just already there. You know, it's a choice. Yeah. Because I feel like if we can reach that, that's the, so many people have committed suicide this year, or they have, and, celebrities, or they have died from overdoses, which I feel like in the medical field, like a lot of people are self-medicating. Yeah. They're not just like, it becomes an addiction, but it becomes an addiction to numb. A lot of time it's pain. And so, and a lot of these people were people we looked at and were like, they have it all. Right. You know what I mean? So the first thing we can do before we even reach our goals or try to find our purpose is to find that happiness, because we would hate to find our purpose and our goal and that be cut short because of mental illness or self-love that we didn't gain beforehand. You know what I mean? And to see how special we really are. Because I believe those people, in my eyes, a lot of those people are like, you have the perfect life, but we don't know their inner demons. And I think it all comes down to self-love and finding happiness just with who you are.
Yes. And for anyone that is struggling with self-love, I created a course on this topic for the main reason that we see so many people going through depression and feeling like they need to end their lives because they're not seen or they're not heard, when in all actuality, there are ways that you can learn to love yourself better so that those external things that are going on around you don't become as big of an issue because you've learned how to love yourself. So I would encourage anyone listening, if you struggle in that area, join my Nutrition for Busy Women group. We're not just talking about nutrition from a physical standpoint. We're talking about it from a mind, body, and soul perspective. So it's going to help you to be able to gain that self-love that you need to be able to survive in this world. This world can be harsh at times. And if you don't love yourself, you're going to struggle because most people are not going to love you more than you love yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Brianna. I appreciate you. And for anyone out there that's listening, if you want to share your story, you want to talk a little bit about your adventures in life, you want to talk about how you began to love yourself, you want to talk about how you don't love yourself, and you want to just be able to communicate with someone out there that doesn't love yourself, whatever you want to share, whether it's big or small, I would encourage you to reach out to me so that other people can learn from you. We all learn from each other. I look at relationships in life as a reciprocal relationship. So we can all learn from each other. Don't think that your story is too big or too small to share it. And if you believe that this can benefit somebody else, I believe it benefits you, but if it didn't benefit you and you believe that it can benefit someone else, share it out so that they can be blessed and encouraged as well. Thank you, Brianna. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You are very welcome. And for all of you listening, just remember to continue to walk in your purpose and live a life full of meaning. I'll see you in our next episode.